Alright guys, bets are in. Who wins? Senna or Rex? This is the match I've been waiting for about a week. Oh. That's unfortunate. Hard to say who will win this. Could be surprising. Senna likes to go to Sins. Anyway, on the right hand side will be Rex as the Traveller. And Senna over here on the left hand side, we'll be playing also as Trial 59. No one's going to go for Ravagers, because now freaking Ravagers get detected by Tiberium Vibration Scan. Who would have thought the unintentional change in R19 made Ravagers detectable by Tiberium Vibration Scan? So you can actually kill Ravs now easier. You just use the Tiberium Vibration Scan, see them as you would any other unit that is Tiberium based, like Corruptors. It's helpful for Scrin factions. That's a good addition. Traveller Mirror can be good though. I much prefer this to a Scrin Mirror. This Traveller Mirrors are much more interesting compared to Scrin Mirrors, because infantry plays a bigger role in this. The Shock Trooper and Ravager units have a bigger role to play, I feel, in mirrors now. No one's going for Descent Rush, which is interesting because Descents are not terrible now. They're not garbage units for Trav. They got the same armor stats as vanilla Scrin Descents. That was a dumb change in the first place, making the Traveller Descents have more vulnerability to gun damage. I don't know why we thought of doing that. I think it was because of technique. He said, oh, I don't like speed nerfs. Speed nerfs are horrible. But if the Scrin Descent's balanced and the Traveller one isn't, then logically you just change the speed of the descent. Plus you had other issues like the Ravager being too quick with advanced articulators. Cultists inherently OP because they move too quickly. So reduce the speed of advanced articulators. And indeed I went through the patch notes, and in 1.02 EA increased the speed of advanced articulators by 10%. So all I did was I just undid the buff. Undid the buff, and there you go. Done. Sorted. It's actually better now. And I guess you guys don't even notice that the Traveller infantry is slower. The reason why they made them faster is because Unleashed was losing too many games, I think. And the upgrade cost $2,000. Took a minute to research. That's pretty unfair. Scrin design opening to kill spike has never been balanced. No. On some maps it's actually easier to counter than on others. If you're Black Hand, then you can counter that no problem. Nod factions in general don't have an issue with it. I would argue the Scrin factions have the most issues at countering Scrin descents. But you can reverse move the Gunwalker and still shoot with the Gunwalker. That helps a lot. Gunwalker's out for both sides, I guess, because, yeah, there's a risk of big descent rush. Senna hasn't scouted these group of descents moving his way. Does he have a tier 2? No tier 2 for Senna, so he can't. But actually, he does have a tier 2, so he can place down an emergency buzzer swarm. Let's see if Rex can take out Harvester before he gets clicked. Yeah, there you go. Senna saved by that swarm support power. If you see a bunch of descents going on a tip field, you can also use Infestation. The only thing that dies to Infestation instantly are these Disintegrators. So you can put that down and kill a bunch of descents on a tip field. So legit strat inside in a Scrin Mirror. Rex going for the blue tib. More descents out for Rex. He kept his stasis chamber around, didn't sell it off. Probably better to power it down if you don't intend to build cultists, because you're just going low on power then. A lot of players sell their tech structures off for quick resources, but this guy hasn't got that bad habit of doing it. Cultists for Senna. These are not as good as they once were. They move a lot slower now, so easier to counter. But it's fair game because both sides can build cultists. Gunwalker's out for Rex. I like it. Even though I made Gunwalkers take an additional shot to kill each cultist member, they're still going to kill the cultist. I didn't want to make it an utterly useless unit in a mirror. the cultist squad, because it would have been if they had received a speed nerf and got one-shotted. So just eco, lots of cultists coming out for Rex. So yeah, both sides are kind of mirroring each other. I'm going to be interested to see whose micro will come up on top. Senna, I've never been too convinced by his Traveler mirrors. He doesn't use the infantry very well. The shock troopers and the Ravagers. Rex knows of the counter mind control, so he can take back units that his opponent captures. Cultists moving across this map. In fact, this Mechapede here just grabs the Mechapeds. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I'll have those 2 Mechapeds. I'm just going to send those right in, and Senna's just going to recap them. Oh man, but he's going to lose his cultist squad. But because that was originally Senna's Mechapede, it doesn't matter, because he'll just get it back anyways. Rex does have the middle Tiberium spike. He's also been gathering the blue Tiberium in the middle. Overall, I would say he's in a better position. 2 buzzer highs for Senna, but there's no real army here. 1 Mechapede down in the south, another buzzer hive, a hexapod, warp chasm, buzzer swarm as well for Senna, but he misses, completely misses that. If Rex has a prodigy, he can just force fire the ground, group all these cultists together and teleport them back to base of a prodigy. It would be better than expending them here for no gain, unless he can do that while also taking the Mechapedes over, in which case he's just total boss and pro. That's what he might do. Yeah, he grabs all the stuff, but Senna's here waiting for him with his own cultists. This is the... It's actually rather fun watching this, as opposed to just Scrin mirrors where it's just tripods and gunwalkers. There's a lot more happening in this. Oh, Prodigy comes in and takes over the Warp Chasm, but because he forced the Buzzer Storm support power to be casted on the cultist, his Prodigy was completely fine to go in there and take the Warp Chasm. Great play by Rex. Rex actually doing really good in this game. Gets his Hexapod out. Senna's in all sorts of trouble now. Big trouble for Senna. Senna not doing well. But let's not count Senna out of this just yet. He might enable his eco hacks and get himself back into this game. All is possible. I'm just kidding. He doesn't use that. But, you know, everyone jokes about it in this game. Hexapod coming out here for Senna soon. 4 buzzer hives, but that was not enough to kill the Prodigy. Buzzers need to leave the hive and chase that Prodigy, which is kind of hopeless. You want to have a storm column. If you want a more immediate defense against units such as the Prodigy, you want a storm column, because it does that immediate damage. Prodigy teleports a short distance, because that's as far as you can teleport an R19, because it was made less. It was to compensate for the health increase that it got to be normalized with the Mastermind. Does the cultist mind control ability go on cooldown when you just reclaim your own units? Yes. The game considers that as a use of the ability, so it will go on cooldown. Hexapod's out for Senna, so yeah, he's got his Hexapod out here. If Rex just wastes his Prodigy and a couple other units, then yeah, he's going to lose this momentum that he has. But so far, he's been doing really good. Lots of gunwalkers out here, so he's going to be pretty safe against the mind control tactics of his opponent. Prodigy comes in. Area mind controls the Harvester. Maybe he's looking to also teleport in a tripod and EMP this Hexapod. That there is always the danger of getting your tripod captured by the enemy cultist. Gunwalkers, they're pursuing the cultist, so I think it's an ideal time now for Rex to just go in there and teleport in the tripod and kill the Hexapod. He's got his Hex here. He can just put Descents in this Hex. DPS is decent. You can also shoot and move with this Hexer, whereas the Shock Troopers, you have to stop and shoot. That's an advantage for the Descent. Plus, it's way cheaper, more than half the price. No one puts Ravs in their Hexapod. Oh, here we go. There's the EMP play that we were looking for, and Senna's just going to lose the game now. He doesn't have any way of stopping this. And this Hexapod's just going to fall. The cultists are not a threat. Too many gunwalkers out here. Senna's fallen. He's just dead. Yeah, there you go. Senna loses the first game. And Rex takes this game in convincing fashion. So well done to him. Senna, again, like I said, not too adept in the Scrin mirrors. I mean, he isn't in the Scrin mirrors when it comes to tripods, but when it comes to the Traveller 59 play with the advanced infantry units, not so much. Okay, so Senna in that game got Ruffle stomped. Curious how he always picks yellow though, isn't it? Yellow is his favourite colour in this game. Rarely do you see him play as any other colour. Now it does have some intrinsic benefits on some maps like Tournament Rift, because the yellow colour blends in with the minimap, but because no one uses the minimap to see units anyways, it's kind of a moot point. But yeah, you can barely see this yellow Senna down in the left hand corner. But I guess he has reasons for it. Maybe it has to do with his eco hacks, just kidding. No such thing exists. Senna is a pro player. Of course, last game he did lose, so he is indeed a mortal. But he's going to go full power now. We're going to see Ultra Senna kick in. He's going to be Black Hand. Let's see if he'll go for Blue Flame strats. Haven't seen that too much from him. Black Hand, not a favoured faction against Scrin on this map. But it is Reaper 17, I believe. So no Devastator warships. The real killer for Black Hand on this map is the Devastator warships. So there'll be none of that for Reaper 17. So I believe that it's going to be a close game. Maybe just his favourite colour. Well, I don't know. I don't really like the colour yellow in this game that much. For me, purple when it comes to Scrin is the best because it's the, you know, the native colour of that faction. Nod, obviously red. You can't go wrong with Nod being red. That's just the best colour to pick. And GDI orange. GDI, you can't beat orange GDI. Those are the best colours for each faction. Technique was a big fan of green. I can substitute the colours for any one of them I choose. You can edit the multiplayer colours in a mod. I was thinking of doing it for people with colour blindness. Because you can replace colours, so I can make people who have colour blindness to green, for example, replace the green with another colour. Though there are other things in the game which would have to be replaced. Not necessarily a big priority of mine, but I think it would be considerate to look at it. I mean, if it's doable, then why not? Flame tank moving through the middle of the map for Senna. Not much to really oppose it. Oh, there's a dev tank coming out. Well, that's just GG then for the flame tank. Dev tank comes out. He's just going to go ahead and charge that one up. Get the full power of this dev tank. Now, he's going to get the double shot with that dev tank. Flame tank shouldn't score a kill in this refinery. Just about nails that one there with the Devourer tank. Too expensive to repair. Should repair it with an engineer. Yeah, look at that. Rex seems to have a lot of experience playing. I don't know if he's spammed many games on the Chinese server, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Blue GDI is weird. I actually think GDI in blue are pretty good. Because it's like blue in most games is considered the good faction. And red is considered the evil. Red versus blue. Plus that's what it is in StarCraft, right? You're either red or blue. Counterattack underway for Rex. But these should be stopped relatively easily. Infantry coming out as well for Zen. He's got a triple refinery down, so he's cranking away at this eco. Is that Harvester idle? Yes, it is Harvester. Not even harvesting for Senna. He must have accidentally moved it off the line. That's going to be pretty costly for him, though.
Rig, ready to move out.
Rig, ready to move out. Thanks for the follow, man. Gunwalkers. He's getting a lot of those in this matchup. He decided to actually repair this up to full health. What happened to that engineer? Did he just decide to capture a defensive tower with it or something? I don't understand. This is the... Oh, Senna doesn't know that there's a second spike on this map. Oh my god. Oh wow, Senna doesn't know. He thinks that it hasn't been changed. Oh my god. So Senna's eco hacks are going to be only working at half the capacity now. Wouldn't it be funny though if he still wins the eco? But yeah, Senna's at a disadvantage. It's 2 spikes versus 1. Let's see if he identifies it soon. He'll probably be right LOL in the chat when he finally realizes. He's like, what WTF? How the hell did that get there? But you know, it's tournament decision. If there was ever a map to put a second spike on, it's this one. This is the no poker tournament decision. I feel it was weird removing one of the spikes because it changes the eco on this map. Senna just hemorrhaging a few forces here. Spike is going to get destroyed. There's a bunch of infantry out for Senna. Now, it's typically not a good idea overextending with infantry. He's not building any more. He's got quad turrets on his lasers. That's not going to do too much against tripods. It might help against the shardwalkers. The turret here doesn't get destroyed as easily. Unlike these individual turrets, this one here, you have to destroy the hub. Otherwise, it's just going to remain there. Catalyst missile comes down, scores 2 refinery kills. That's pretty devastating. Rex should have known better. On this map, you need to pack up your MCB after dropping your second refinery and just move it a little bit closer to the middle of the map so you can put a refinery and spread all 3 of the refineries out so you don't get clicked like he just did get clicked. That's devastating though. Really, really, really painful for him. Senna's probably going to make a Redeemer now and just spam his way to victory. Second MCV, I believe I saw. Could have been mistaken though. AA quad turret hurts a lot. But if you read the R19 change list, the tip core overall was nerfed. And the particle beam shredder turrets, they were nerfed, the damage. So you need the quad turrets now for decent damage with those upgrades. Because I wanted to stealth in that nerf because the Scrin anti-air turret got a nerf with the shards. And I believe that these upgrades are a bit oppressive. GDI AA turret with tungsten shells I felt was a good balanced defense. Yet the other 2 were grossly overpowered. And I've heard people say that it feels just right without the quad turrets. But if you need that additional damage, you can go ahead and purchase the quad turret upgrade. And it will do you wonders against hammerheads. Cabal's actually killing harvesters. These are actually not bad once you get the particle beam upgrade. They do decent damage to vehicles. It's still gun damage, but you can still focus down harvesters relatively quickly. Tripod's out here for Rex. He's got a Ravager, but I doubt that he built a Ravager. He probably just sold off a tech center. But it's curious how he decided to sell that off. Going in for the crush. Is he going to phase one of his units here? No, he's not, but he's crushing all the infantry. The Obelisk of Light is going to get destroyed. In fact, he's going to move into the Redeemer facility. He might actually impede the Redeemer before it comes out. Oh my god, he gets it. But the Redeemer's just going to pop out anyways. Oh man, he's got second to destroy this while the Redeemer's going to come out. He kills the Redeemer facility. That was so clutch, by the way. And this Shardwalker's moving in. Senna's trying to frantically try and get this down. These quad turrets coming down with the supercharged particle beam. Needs to get laser turrets down, man. Those not going to do too much against vehicles. MCV gets full. He loses the MCV. Senna. I can't believe it. That was so close. There's repair drones casted in here. Senna, what are you doing? You killed all the refineries though. But there is a double ref for Rex in the expansion. And these tripods are being kept alive by that repair drone support power. Senna has nothing left. He's got an MCV here, but not much else. Surely by now he sees the extra tip spike. Well, that was really unexpected. I was expecting Senna to just walk over Rex, but those tripods, man, they couldn't have attacked it at a better time. Phase Shardwalker comes in. Oh man, that's going to go to heroic for sure. He's going to crush all these infantry. Fence stasis shield on the tier 3. Cancels the Redeemer. Senna going down 2-0 versus Rex. There's that heroic Shardwalker. Tripod's still here for Senna. He's not going to give it up. But it's kind of pointless at this point. He's building flame tanks. He desperately doesn't want to lose this game, but it's all over for him. Yeah. It's all over. He had to have more infantry. He's just scanner move, man. He had lots of infantry near that MCV. He could have just pressed Control X and scattered the infantry and they wouldn't have all got crossed by the tripods. I don't know why he didn't do that. And also, don't build shredder turrets against vehicles, build laser turrets. You can really see that 15% damage nerf versus vehicles coming in with these shredder turrets with the charged particle beams. Takes a lot of turrets to focus down the tripod, and that's how it should be, okay? These defenses are not supposed to be or end all against everything. Now, even though they have quad turrets and this upgrade, they just still feel like they're balanced. I didn't want to introduce quad turrets into R19 without first addressing this issue, because it would have made the game horrible otherwise. Would have not addressed the multi-MCV concerns that people had. Nice shredder turrets, but I mean, what else is there? Is there a flame tank here? No, there's not. It doesn't matter. There's a tripod out as well. Ravager. Just chilling in that tip field. Senna taking the day off. No, he's going to go full power after this. He's going to pick a map that he does well on, I'm sure. Maybe not a good day for Senna. But he's long leashing Tib and it's over. It's all over. There's so much income here. It's I don't know why he doesn't quit. Still has not yet taken his Tib spike over. Well, that was extremely close and unexpected. Really do like the illumination on these Tiberium meters, as you can see. In the original game, they're not as bright as that. So you can tell, not just by the blue bar, but also the harvester, how full it is. Easier than it was before, because it just was dull. It didn't illuminate before. Little details like that actually help you out when you play. Sure, trying to get in that one flame tank. But I bet you Rex has all parts of this map covered. He's got dev tanks too. Another radar jamming missile, because when you have no Tiberium left, that's exactly what you should be doing. Maybe he's like, let's see if Leaf fixed the quad turret desync. Indeed it was. You gotta admit though, the build-up animation of the quad turret now is really nice. That was fixed by another modder. I was fortunate to get the animation for it. Just watch how cool this comes up, the shredder turret. See how that turret just does the same animation as these ones? Was bugged in the original game. Shardwalkers all day, and then he'll move in. Takes a little longer for Reaper to end games because they don't have dev ships. One flame tank here, no blue flame. Needs to go for the war factory. If you can get this somehow to heroic, it's still not going to matter. There's just so much here. He needs to deal with this army. Senna currently bested by Rex. Still winnable, yeah. This is like watching Unleashed. Where is Senna fueling this? He's long leashing Tib. Oh. Senna's committed, man. He wants the W here. Yeah, Spike has been actually captured by Rex. He got the $500 in the end. Just micro this one plane tank. Rex has a drone ship. Senna just wants to show quad turrets. This is all he's doing. It's like, I'm just going to make quad turrets all day. I don't understand it though. He usually gives up before this. You need to sell your turrets off before they die. You don't get the Cabal. There we go, finally. About time. Nice water, yeah. Some nice effects in this game, especially with the distortion. But it's I mean, by today's standards, it's not particularly great. You can even see artifacts there. But it reflects the clouds, which is nice. You know, graphically, this game has aged wonderfully. The lighting effects, the bloom. I don't think any RTS game besides Red Alert 3 has really surpassed it. StarCraft, I suppose. Early harvester for Rex. He's just going to lose that. Yeah, he's lost it. He's going to have to use that as a scout. No, don't pull it towards the descents. That was a mistake. Senna's just going to chase that down. Not a good start for him. Oh, Senna won the last game. And he's on track to win this one. If he kills Harvester. Wow. That's incredible. You saw this coming a mile away. How did you lose the Harvester there? Yeah, Senna's way ahead now. He can probably go dev tanks and win. Why do people attack the ground with descents like that? I see that all the time. That's to bunch all the disintegrators up so they all are in range when they attack. When you bunch them all up, they all are in the same spot, so they all have the same range. They attack. All of the descents attack the enemy unit at the same time. It increases the DPS for that reason. Of course, there is some drawbacks to that. If you're up against units with splash damage, then you're gonna lose them to the splash. Like shard walkers, if you force fire the ground and they're all bunched up, the shard walker is just gonna kill all of them with one shot. I call Seed 4 Senna coming down a tier 3 as well, going for that force field generator. He's way ahead. Dev tanks versus tripods, yeah, not a good situation to be in. Probably needs to go shock troopers or even better, Ravagers. Ravagers would shut this down, in my opinion. I don't know if he's read the patch notes, but Ravagers would be a good option for him. He can use the tib agitation on the Reaper tripods, especially when they're charged up. They deal more damage versus targets with Fall of Tiberium. Oh, he actually teched up himself. But he's Scrin. It cost him way more to get this upgrade, 4 grand. That's a big deal on a small map like this. He's going to have one less tripod. And not even an upgrade for about a minute and a half. Does Senna not get the conversion reserves? That's interesting. That was fixed long ago. Yeah, tripods just absolutely massacre dev tanks. Not even close. You can kill a tripod with 3 Ravs though. 3 Ravager squads can kill the tripod with agitation. But, you know, the problem is when he tries to attack the enemy base, because there's going to be loads of other hives down. I feel like there's a lot that I've missed out on. I started playing Tib Wars when it first released and loved it, but didn't really stumble across the YouTube and community side of it until a year or two ago. I wasn't really a fan of Tib Wars. I mean, the campaign was nice, memorable for the live action cutscenes, which will obviously age a lot better than other games of that time period. But yeah, if it weren't for Tiberium Wars, I wouldn't be playing this game, and I'm happy to hear that you've got back into it, and it's also nice that we have interest in this game still in 2022. The reason why I did this patch and the 4K remaster mod that I did was to try and get more players in the game. This patch has somewhat succeeded, if I'm honest. There's more interest now among the good players to play the game and explore new strategies. That's nice. Have you seen the trailer gameplay for Tempest Rising? Yes, I have seen it. And I'm not sure what I think of it yet. I think that people are excited for it because there's nothing else. I think it's best to keep expectations low, then you won't be disappointed if it doesn't turn out to be any good. Hang on a second, what is going on here? No way, man. This is just impossible. There's no way this guy wins this. Oh, there's Descents there. There's heroic disintegrators. Oh, man, he's killing all of those Descents. Descents MVP kills all of the tripods. Oh, my God, that was insane. He almost pulled off an absolutely ridiculous comeback, the likes of which I have not seen. In fact, it's not just over yet. The Mastermind is still alive. He's going in for that tripod. Oh man, he snares himself a tripod, but the problem is now there's so many husks there. Senna's just going to go ahead and capture them. The Synths are such a pivotal part of this matchup. It doesn't quite kill that. Was that the Mastermind? Yeah, that was the Mastermind. Mastermind goes down. That's GG. Nice attempt though from Rex, almost pulling that back with the Mastermind. Senna now is 2-2, so he's managed to bring it back. Rex is Black Hand. Senna, from my experience, has a great Scrin against Black Hand. So it's going to be a really fun game to watch this. One of the best games I played was against Senna. And I was Black Hand, he was Scrin, and he was just relentless. All game, I don't know how he got the income for it, but he somehow managed to produce army after army after army, and I don't know where the hell he got the money for it. It's crazy. Yo, my copy of Age of Empires 1 was a legal copy of a disc that came from Cereal Box. Man, those were the days, right, when you had to purchase games and buy a game physically and install it from a DVD or a CD. You know, I was talking to Lauren 2 days ago about modding, and apparently back in the day, if you were a modder, you had to continuously load the DVD up, and apparently that wears down the disc. So if you did modding back in the day, you would have to replace your disc because it would just wear down the DVD, because you had to keep on loading it up every time you wanted to test something, and that was a thing apparently. I like these details here. This is an imported asset from C&C3. The only thing about this game, this C&C3, that was good was all the assets that got imported over to this game by Technique. This is one of the beautiful things about mod maps. You can import assets from other games. You see all these Tiberium tubes here. These are from C&C3, and there's nothing wrong with the terrain stuff and the props in that game. We can use those for maps. It makes the maps more interesting. Game was over anyway. It was 5 seconds before Rex threw the towel. Senna not known for his uber micro. No flame tank coming out for Rex. Back in the days where copy protection on disc games was the worst. Please do not make illegal copies of this disc written on the front. Yeah. Secure ROM as well, I believe, controlled the DVD drive. It was like a driver for the optical drive, and it would make the drive spin at a faster RPM than what it was designed for and kill people's drives. So there was actual cases of people having their DVD drives destroyed due to copy protection software, which I thought was dumb. At least nowadays we don't have that nonsense to deal with. Bikes coming out for Rex. I mean, I know he's Rex because he's going for pink. Yellow would only be Senna. Harvester down here. No units. Actually, there's a Seeker coming out. That might buy enough time for him to put down a portal. The moment Senna gets down that portal, he's going to be defending this off. Yeah, this is not going to go anywhere. I mean, he can try, but the synths are going to come out, and that's going to be it. Yeah, he's going to just kill those bikes now. It's not going to be worth it. He needs to get away with those bikes. He may not even pay for that Seeker. Very nice work. What's the health on those bikes there? 2 of them on really low. He needs to micro those back and get some repairs. Now, nice mechanic about this game is if your units are in a heavy damage state, they will move at a slower speed compared to the units that aren't in that state. Cabal's here as well for Rex. I like it. I like it a lot. These Cabals buff each other with their Aura. Kills all of those disintegrators. Nice work. Even kills the Seekers. Trading really well. Rex doing good here. But the problem is there's now more disintegrators coming out. Senna holding on. Puts down that buzzer hive just to draw in some fire. Rex, meanwhile, he's going for a tier 2. No blue flame on 2 base or 1 base like I do. I think I'm the only person. I feel very exclusive when I do these strategies that no one else does. I think blue flame's highly underrated, especially against Scrin. They have no way to fence their buildings and give them more protection. Yes, a friend of mine had that issue. Do you think we'll ever see a Tyrium Sun remaster? I don't know. I think it's more probable than the remaster of this game. I actually spent a year and a half doing my best improving the assets in this game with the source material and material I could find online and from artists, concept arts, and even interpreting some of the low-res images and trying to make some of the outlines and lines and stuff look even better. Decals, remade, all that sort of thing. I tried my best to improve this game as much as I could, but I don't think we'll ever get something from EA. I don't think you should say never, but I don't see it likely. There's no word on anything in the pipeline. It's been a couple of years since the C&C3 remaster, and they haven't announced or given us clues that they're developing anything. And we saw that Petroglyph is working on a game to do with World War I, which no one is interested in. In fact, I can't think of a more boring and uninspiring setting for an RTS game than World War I. I mean, there's better things to do RTS games on. But I haven't been really too thrilled about Petroglyph's games in a long time. I think that Universe at War was the last game that they made that was any good. And even then, that was plagued of issues. And I wouldn't choose it over the other RTS games of the day. No quad turrets for Rex. He's got lots of these particle beams. When are people going to learn that these are just not that good anymore against vehicles? Does hold that back. But the problem is you're giving Senna time. When you give Senna time, he's just going to go for the tripod dev ship. Tripod dev ship coming out, yeah. There's the dev ship. There's a tripod. You just know it's tripod dev ship. It's the best thing you can do against Black Hand. Very powerful strategy. No quad turrets. That's disappointing me. No quad turrets, man. He's upgrading it now, but it's a bit too late. He needs to get laser turrets down, or obelisks. He needs obelisks, realistically. But they're still going to be good against these Seekers, which don't have very good gun armor. bikes. Going to hunt down a harvester. Nice work there. Not sure what he was doing over there, but yeah, Rex has some pretty good awareness. Will pick up a kill on that harvester, and he may even decide to pursue down another one. There's a harvester docking in this refinery. Could go ahead and target that one down. He's going for the harvester here. Should get it. One of those bikes is elite. Could potentially go heroic. It's not going to matter though. He just needs to try and kill this one. If he can kill it, then that's going to be great for him. He doesn't manage to destroy it. That's unfortunate. Senna probably keeping him distracted with an attack. Dev ships here. Tyroom core missiles has finally been researched. Does almost snare a Devastator. Could go in for it. It's worth it. Kills the dev ship. Nice work. Senna only down to that one warship. Now that's his only anti-infantry. So the moment he loses that, then he's going to be pretty vulnerable to infantry. I don't think this base push is going to work out, especially with the fence nerf. We'll see. Is there a Redeemer out? Oh yeah, it's out. He needs to get that in there. Oh yeah, this MCV is going to be in peril. This one dev shift is going to kill the MCV. And that's going to be game. Senna should focus it down. Trench War RTS for all the Turtle versus AI players. Yeah, they should have focused on... I don't know, man. I really think it all fell apart when EA sacked all the developers in EA LA. I'm sure the developers at the time wanted to make a good RTS game for C&C3, but they just were forced to abandon the original objective. Is there going to be some obelisks coming down to defend against this? Rex needs to queue obelisks. Yeah. If you can queue obelisks, he can maybe somehow take this out. Oh, nice use of the temple. Temple of Nod. This Redeemer is going to be pretty screwed. He needs to queue obelisks, but I think he's out of funds. He needs to sell the Schroeder turrets back at home. He's got quad turrets, but that wasn't very useful. He's selling off some structures here, but he got off a race gen, which didn't do too much. No flame tank harassment in the back, which is really Black Hand strength. If you're going for this multi-MCV play, you're better off going for a Nod or Mock. That Redeemer was what you needed to keep alive, and there's just so many tripods out now. I tried to play last month, but my account was low level and people kicked me from lobby. There's a lot of people who are like that in this game. Or any game, actually, for that matter. But you'll find there's players of all skill levels. In fact, if you join several discords, they have categorized each of the players. So if you are of a certain skill level, you can just PM those players for some games and they'll play you. Senna's only got one refinery on this field. Does he have a drone ship? He's got a drone ship, but he's moved it all the way here. No ref established just yet on this expansion for Rex. He's long leeching Tiberium. Senna's in a better position. I think Senna's Rex's best bet here would be just to sell up everything and go for bike bucky spam and try and overwhelm this scattered army, because he does have the Tiberium core missiles. He could sell off this, the secret shrine, the tier 2, build a second war factory or even a third war factory and just go all out bike bucky spam, sell these off. And maybe he might destroy these tripods. If he gets EMP cores, he can destroy them. He can just swarm them with buggies and kill them. The only issue is the race generator, but he's going for infantry. Rex deciding to transition to inf, which is nice, I like it. Did the dev ship get cleaned up in the end? I don't see it anywhere, so I'm assuming it did. There's actually one over here, never mind. It's actually a veteran dev tank, dev ship. Rex is aware of this, I think. Quad turret SAM turrets are really good. Should put that one down. It'll do decent damage to aircraft. Double obelisk. Oh, but he's low on power. That's unfortunate. He needs to start power microing like crazy, or he's not going to get the value that he needs out of these obelisks. Doesn't score a kill on any of the tripods there. Dev ship's still alive. Infantry being cleaned up in the middle of the map. And Rex he's just falling apart now. I would like to start playing again. Looks so fun. It's fun and also stressful at the same time. It depends what you're looking for. If you just want to play versus AI, then yeah, why not? This game has something for everyone. You don't have to compete at the high end to have fun. I mean, that wasn't fun for me for many years. I played Red Zone Rampage, then I played Free For All on Tiger Room Gardens. I only played 1v1s because I wanted Green Zero to cast my game. But then I ended up enjoying it, so I just kept playing it. It was fun. But you have to get past that initial stage where you're watching replays and casting, not casting, but learning from your mistakes and improving. I don't think I've improved in many years. I probably regressed a lot, but that's normal. I've been prioritizing modding. I've been learning how to do that. Look at those power icons there, which I remade. You can see how crisp those are. They're not upscales. All that stuff is brand spanking new with the 4K remaster mod, which I will continue to promote because poured an awful lot of time and effort into it. I will say it's been an incredible project. Surprised this game is not over. It is over now, at last. Alright, well, Senna's now taking the lead in this series, 3-2. Some GDI, one GDI please, just give me one GDI. GDI. Any of the GDI factions I'll do, I don't mind, just one GDI faction. Yes! At last. Where do you live? I live in Spain at the moment. Very close to the border though. If you consider the latitude where I'm at, it should be actually the same time as the UK, but it is what it is. (1 PM) here. It's the other side of the world though, compared to where we live. Still Talons is my favorite faction. Still 22 PM. One spike per player on this map. Tournament LA. Senna currently up 3-2 versus Rex. Phoenix is not here to witness this epic series of games. R19 crashing patch? No, it doesn't. I've seen no crashes. Absolutely none. Plays many games. In fact, there's a lot of lobbies out there that there's no crashing. So that's a weak conclusion to make. There's no issue with this patch at all. It's only if someone is using an outdated 4K mod, because I told people explicitly they use the 4K mod while using R19. They need to make sure that all the players have the most up-to-date 4K mod. It's as simple as that, really. And if there's still an issue, then reinstall R19, because I'm not sure what the behavior of command post is. If someone has the 102 scripts disabled, then it doesn't matter if you're playing R19 or not. It's gonna crash the game and desync. Well, there's no issue then, just absolutely no issues. What I recommend is reinstall. And if you have a good computer, then why don't you use the 4K mod? That's the easiest solution I can give you. That works the same. Just install the 4K mod, version 2.6, and it will work perfectly. As I have here. Absolutely no issue. I use the same SDK files for the 2v2, 3v3 and FFA maps. There's no difference the way that they're compiled compared to the 1v1 maps. There's no crashing problems with this patch. It's because someone has outdated files, or they have some file disabled. What I suggest is, if you have a crash issue, to reinstall R19. That's all I can suggest, because it's possible that CGF replaced something behind the scenes with R19. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but I haven't had such an issue before. I really can't even count on one hand how many players have got crashing issues. It's just judge. There's no one else. Absolutely no one else is crashing the game. In fact, there's less chance of having crashes in this because I had Lauren patch the SDK files so that we don't have Mechapeds crashing the game anymore, which has been a bug that existed for many versions. This is built on R18, so 90% of the stuff is from R18. No, it's not for advanced players. It's not hard. Yeah, there's no problems, man, at all with this patch. Besides, how can you not play with such nice looking units in your game? And things like this, the house color outline around the garrison for Nod, just the small things all over, the hammerhead with its house color texture swap for the ceramic armor. All these things you can see all over the place. Hard for me to downgrade, really. Well, the best thing I can do then is release R19FG for just the 3v3 maps, so that everyone who has that can update it to that. Because it would force the update then, since if people are too lazy to check if they've got the right one installed, then I should force the update. Just for those players that use the team maps. Not sure if this is supposed to show the decal. I think this was a bug that I left that I should have fixed. Probably because I copied the game object from the EA files for the Reclamator hub, because I did have to have every game object just to change the sonic repulsion field so that it's removed at 66% health. It's no longer a permanent armor buff. Seems to be moving across this map. Senna could just kill the MCV. Oh, no quad turrets. But he's stacking his units up. Unfortunate. Quad turrets? No quad turrets. People just don't get it. It's actually one of the nicest parts of the 4K mod, the self-illumination for Nod. Just the way that some of this stuff glows and reflects. I had a shader programmer do this shader for me, and it uses a separate self-illumination map. That's a really nice enhancement. You can see it on the bikes as well, how the green Tiberium core missiles are significantly brighter. You can see the damage bike has a different texture as well. Lots of details here. But you have to zoom in and pay attention. This is bad news for Senna. He's getting torn apart, losing all of his houses, but he does have a Marv on the right hand side. Marv there with the gun illuminated. It also has that green glow underneath it. All sorts of things done. Texture is 1,000 times more detailed. And of course the sonic grenade shells are player colored, like it used to be in the alpha of the game. Because Grenadiers have that, and the sonic grenades, just for consistency, have it now. Now, let's not count Senna out of it just yet, because if he cleans up this obelisk, then he can take out this MCV. He should just focus down the MCV, I reckon. But there's a refinery there, so it doesn't quite matter. But he's funding this with that. The Marv gets killing all the halves. That's nice. Nice work. Actually, you may actually win this fight, because Senna is bringing in all these resources with the Marv. But this Marv's going to get low on health, and it's going to be devastating. If you lose this Marv and the Redeemer lives, that's terrible news for him. I don't think you can even gather resources when it's rage gen either. Was forced off of that tip field, but Senna has no refinery to put on that expansion. Harvest is rallying over to this field. Not much there to really harvest, is there? But Rex is in a better position now. I would put double rocket in this Redeemer. My last video showcased just how good double rocket can be inside of the Redeemer. You can see there the tip core model as it's in its rubble animation. Wasn't in the base game, only happened with quad turrets researched. Big Redeemer just chilling. Needs to get repairs. Needs to put a saboteur in there and get a war factory down and heal that one up. I think it's also cost effective to put an engineer in low health obelisks and then sell them afterwards. I think you get more resources, even when you take into account the engineer. That's an expensive unit to throw away. Senna can't afford to be making mistakes like that, but he does have a double ref established and a sonic emitter. Rex suddenly in a very precarious position. Probably could sell this tech lab off. He's got his Redeemer. And I'm probably going to make this my last game casting tonight. Getting a bit tired. It is 3:30 in the morning. Need to get some rest after this. But I'm happy to stream. It's really fun during the weekend to stream games. Look at that decal quality. Even when zoomed in all the way at 4K, it is crisp. As well as this Reclamator hub. We're pushing through, but there's no anti-air to support it. Hammerheads, none of them are loaded up with Zone Raiders. Yeah, Senna needs to do a bit better job of his micro here. He seems to be... Oh man, if this may not even come out. It will, though. It doesn't look like he's stalling for funds. It's going to be so close, guys. It's going to be so close. He gets it out just in the nick of time. And that could be the game if this Redeemer is chased down and destroyed. Senna's just going to snowball from here. So it could be just a bit of fatigue setting in here for Rex because he's making mistakes here that he wasn't making in the beginning, which is completely normal. It's nice to see that ZOCOM are getting themselves on the score sheet versus not factions again. That's also a positive. Good that you stream the hours you do with me being on the other side of the world, as you mentioned. Oh, it's a weekend. I would stream at other times otherwise, but yeah, it's the main issue is staying awake at this point. But I'm glad that you're enjoying the stream. Okay, well that's 101 how to start throwing. So Rex, he doesn't have an army, okay, but he just put down 3 obelisks simultaneously. Senna's like, I got this game in the bag, and these 3 obelisks pop up out of nowhere. Abandons that plan completely. If I was sitting there, I'd go Firehawks. Firehawks is the way to go. Senna's got no... He's got no defense on his field. He needs to go for freaking Firehawks, man. Get the Stratifier booster and just bomb the tick center of the Black Hand player. Because this dies to 5 Firehawks. Oh, by the way, thank you very much for the sub, Senna. My browser thing should work. In fact, it's actually hidden.
Rig packed up and ready.
There we go. I've just enabled it. Thank you very much for that, man. I'm not sure why I had my browser thing disabled. I love this game. Deserve more love than it gets. Absolutely agree. But it's a precarious situation. Yeah. It would be helpful if EA did something for us. Giving the source... Well, they're not going to do that, but just doing anything at all would be nice. Couldn't even get a crumb for the projects that I attempted to do. Not even a crumb. I tried to message their community leaders and... no, nothing. Nothing at all. Not a chance. They own the franchise, but all they use the IP for is milking C&C rivals and Tib alliances. For some reason, Tib Alliance has still servers, yet other games don't. I don't think anyone plays that game. Marv pushing through. No EMP cores, though. Actually, he does have EMP cores. Buggies need to come out. Oh, heroic bike. Oh, that's going to suck. He's going to lose several more hammerheads as a response. As a result of that, pays pretty heavily for those hammerheads there. Marv, push back. Not sure why he's pushed back. There's only 2 obelisks. You can't just build obelisks and spam them for days. Resources are limited unless you set your harvesters idle and let the fields regrow. But other than that, yeah. Also, this should have had double rocket inside of it. Has Senna not seen my last video yet? These double rocket redeemers are legit. Absolutely legit. Yet, none there. Plus, he doesn't have quad turrets. I bet you he doesn't. He doesn't even have a tier 2. The game's probably over now. This Redeemer's just stranded. That is going to be a game. Senna takes this one. Iron Wars and Kane Draft are just good RTS games, but alas, with bugs. Less bugs now, though. Community has patched a lot of them. The base game had more. Big throw for my son. Yeah, absolutely. Can't disagree with you. I am getting very tired though, so I think I'm going to call it after this game. Let's see if Rex can bring it back. I doubt it. He's just not got an answer to these hammerheads now. And yeah, Senna takes it. Pretty sloppy game though from both sides, I will admit.